Hello everyone, it's General Damage Podcast, and holy shit, it's episode 80.
Yeah, it is. Fuck yeah.
Yep. I'm Nick.
I'm Will.
And I'm Shane.
Yep.
80 is quite the accomplishment.
That's cool.
Yeah, 80 is quite the accomplishment. And not for me and Will to brag, but the 25 we've done before this is 105. Yeah.
105 podcasts is sweet.
105 episodes between us, yeah. That's a hell of a thing.
To consistently do it, with very few breaks in between, and reschedulings, that's sweet. That's kind of a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, I think Will, you suggested to have a third party when we were rebranding, and we brought in Shane.
Yeah.
And that's helped because we've never not had an episode, for the exception of one time where we all wanted to be there for 50.
And it's also led to kind of new ventures. Me and Shane with our scroll rack. Probably we would have never had it if we didn't have a third party. It's not to say we wouldn't have come up with something different between you and me, Nick, but having a third person allows us to kind of expand our ideas and try new things and see if they work and see if they don't work. It's cool looking at kind of our numbers on our Facebook page. We've gotten a few more likes than we have in the past, and that's sweet. That's growth, and it's satisfying because it felt a little stagnant there for a while, but 2 or 3 likes here or there, that's good. I like that. I like seeing that.
One of those cats is my cousin, or a cousin of mine.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up,
cool.
Yeah.
But the fact
what's up?
We're really close. We're 1 away from 100.
That's dope.
That's pretty impressive because we've been kind of grinding at it for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And just breaking 100 means that if we can break 100, we can easily just keep pushing for more.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I really don't want to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see stopping. I just see continuing and keep doing stuff and keep doing what we're doing. Yeah. Which it's a long way since I was 12 years old and I decided I want to be a game designer.
Mm-hmm.
And that fell through in a major way. And I keep kind of having this thought in my head about that, I want to make at least one game and have it out there in the ether, whether it's good or bad. And at the same time, I'm like, do I really? I like playing a lot of games. I like discussing the mechanics. I don't know if I can really build one. Not a video game, at least. I can definitely make a board game or a card game if I grind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with video games, there's a lot of shit, which sucks because I like to think I have a fair amount of ideas for that.
Yeah. But
it sucks because, one, there's no risk when it comes to big budgets now in the industry, at least for the time being. Something could break the mold. And gamers are fucking a-holes.
Oh, yeah, the culture is really, really distilling.
Have you guys seen some of the stories recently? Developers, Overwatch has, I saw the headline, I didn't read it, but, Overwatch developers are intimidated by gamers.
Yeah.
And it's this whole thing of why doesn't the industry share more about what they do with its audience? Because movies do that all the time. And basically, developers have put it saying, well, it's toxic. We share what we do, someone gets pissed off at it, and the next thing you know, half our team is doxxed.
Right.
Which is something that we might have to look out for in the future, depending on how big we get. We're talking about to get to episode 100, that'd be cool, but still, it's...
You found a topic, Nick, that I forgot about.
I did.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan. Because you brought it up. He's the Overwatch lead developer, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. You talked about him last week.
Yeah, no, that was the thing I forgot, because I saw it today and I didn't read the whole thing. he went into the Overwatch forums, the actual Overwatch forums, and to quote him,
you know what forums? I'm going to say this. Just picture this when I think of forums. The detoxifier in Rick and Morty.
yeah,
That's what I think of when you're reading forums for the most part.
Yeah, I was gonna say
most forums.
Most forums, yeah, it can look like that.
but you gotta listen to this quote because it's really good.
Yeah, but the best forum I've ever ran into was the Luxology forum for Moto, the 3D software. Best forum out there. They helped me a ton. Anyway, Shane.
To quote him, right? Because there's a quote from his post: "Make productive posts, either clearly stating an issue that you're having, or make a productive suggestion. We won't tolerate demands of quote unquote being replaced on these forums. See you in 30 days." I think he's just hit his limit. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He gets the most shit of anyone on that team because he's the face, and it's his job to communicate that to players. And I think he's probably getting tired of it, especially since the big Mercy update happened. My friend Adam
I think I
was ranting about it before our D&D session. He was just like, "Oh my god, Mercy's so overpowered now." And I'm like, okay, fair enough, right? But my friend Adam's never going to go into a forum and put someone on blast. But I can imagine for every time he does it, there's 3 people who do.
Oh, easily.
Oh yeah.
And of course, was it next week? These guys are going into their Halloween event. Mm-hmm. And right now, the current trend with the events is kind of like they just bring back the popular game mode from last time, which is probably going to be, the last year's Halloween event was pretty cool, albeit a little bit easy and predictable. I'm hoping they change it up a little bit to make it unpredictable. I think it's gonna be fine.
Is that where everyone suddenly looked at Mercy totally different because she was a sexy witch?
Yeah, it's the one where you basically play through it like a movie. Though,
right. Yeah, I remember. I haven't played. I would like to play Overwatch. It's just it can't.
But anyways, I'm hoping that Jeff Kaplan and his team this year, I hope they don't get too much flack for it. They try really hard. So far, everything they do is great for the game. I have yet to see something that's been bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with. I mean, I don't want. That's not my reason why I'm not still going for the game industry stuff. I want to be a part of that world. I want to be a part of the nerd culture because I am one, and I have a theory about the Bay Area nerds that I would like to get to that I just remembered. But anyway, it's just bad when directors and movies and stuff like that, they want to talk about their craft because this is what they do, and they have you guys ever watched Martin Scorsese, an interview with Martin Scorsese where he's talking about frameworks and camera movement? As he's, I can find the interview and link it to you guys maybe. Yeah. But as he's talking about, because when he was a kid, he would basically mimic comics.
Yeah,
and he that's how he learned how they flip the frame and all the storyboard and all this shit. And the more he's talking about, the more excited he gets. And it's awesome to see this guy who I think at the time of the interview was maybe in his 50s or 60s. I forget how old he is now. It's when his eyebrows were completely black. Now I think they're it's a while ago. It's at least a decade and a half. Anyway, but this guy's more and more excited. Now I've met game developers and I've been to talks where these guys do talk and they talk about everything they do, and it's the same thing. They get more and more excited.
Yes,
but it's hard to share that with the public when you're being called a bitch and by some random asshole behind a forum name. And you're basically told that you ruined the game that you made. That would why would I want to talk to those people? Why would anyone want to talk to those people? So it sucks for Kaplan that he's the quote unquote monster that's supposedly ruining Overwatch.
I mean, I don't think he's really. I don't think he cares in the sense it hurts him. I think he's just tired of hearing the same BS arguments.
Right.
Because, he tries really hard. He's very earnest about his opinions and the changes that are being made for the game. And he's also quoted this many times. He is not the sole person in charge.
Right.
He leads a team. The team makes decisions, all this and that. And actually, funny enough, there's one person who I've never once heard about him, because you were talking about like they get excited, right? One person I listen to all the time is Magic the Gathering's head of development, which is Morrow. What's his full name? Well, I'm forgetting it for a second.
Are you talking about Mark Rosewater?
Mark Rosewater.
Yeah.
Morrow.
Yeah.
Mark Rosewater, the one interesting thing about him is that he never brings up the criticism. And I'm sure he gets a shit ton.
Oh, God, he does.
But he never...
Well, judging from you two, what your thoughts on Magic are half the time.
But no one... I'm sure people, bitch about him or try to, send him messages and stuff, but he never talks about that. And it's funny because his philosophy, which I think is really brilliant, is he goes, I can't let players affect my ability to create the game. I love this game. I love that people enjoy it. It sucks sometimes when people don't, and sometimes they're valid complaints, sometimes they're not. But he doesn't listen to them, and it's not that he's so much better than Kaplan or anything like that. It's more like he just can't afford to, because he makes Magic sets years down the line. Like whatever he's working on right now won't get released for 2.5 years.
Yeah,
and so he just can't let what's currently happening shape what happens to him. And in retrospect, and looking at it comparatively, Kaplan's in a shitty position because the game's constantly being updated. It's live. He has to work with what's currently happening. But
his
game. Sorry, Shane. His game is a living world. That's half the problem.
But the big thing is he doesn't have to. Mark Rosewater doesn't. He rarely answers his criticizers or he rarely gives them a platform to communicate with them because most of the time it's not helping. Right? People should be thankful that Kaplan's actually willing to go into forums and stuff and actually communicate with them, because he doesn't have to. He could delegate that job to someone else. And ultimately too, they don't even have to talk to the people bashing to them. Most of the time they do it because they're trying to get a conversation going. They don't go on there to be yelled at. They go on there to be well, what do you want? What do you see as a problem? Can you explain that to me? Right? I mean, and that's a lot more personal than say Riot, who literally you can't really complain at them because they literally just have an army of forum moderators. And also if the toxicity, they literally have people who measure the toxicity of the types of comments in a forum, and Riot will just fucking lock it out and shut it down. People should be happy that this guy is willing to put himself out there, willing to do these videos. He does a lot of these update videos and stuff, and he takes the time, right? You should be very happy about that because he cares.
Yeah.
But like you said, gamers suck in a long run, and I think it just comes with their varying degrees of gamer-ishness, right? You have I'm a new kid on Xbox Live, where we all have been there. And then you become the regrettable old man who's why am I on Xbox Live with a bunch of 12-year-olds? And then sometimes you're the guy who never grew up. And I think that might be the worst.
Yeah. I've ran into that a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that it's for me, I've been playing Cuphead, and we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to say about Cuphead.
But for me, okay, going back to making a game, if I were to ever make a game, if I ever got the chance again to be something in that, my stipulation would be single player and maybe co-op, but I never would want to make a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Just because one, there's too much. That's half the reason why people hate COD. People look at COD, oh, it's a stupid game, you just run, shoot. It's it's a jock game. Or if you've actually played it, there's a lot of people who put a lot of hard work into those games. Yeah, they're ridiculous. A lot of people are saying the World War II game is pretty good. It does go back to its roots, and it's good. But people hear COD, they think it's stupid, and they just immediately rip 500 people's hard work.
Yeah.
Which is it's unfair, and it's they are a good game. Mechanically speaking, design wise, they're good games. These are people who know what the fuck they're doing and they put out a good product as best they can. And for me, if I were to ever make a game, I would make a game like Cuphead or a game like Shadow War. I don't want to have to deal with people saying in an update, in the next update 1.25, oh, I ruined this. Or this team, the company ruined it. Because, oh man, so many people talk about how Blizzard fucks up, they just ruined their whole game. I'm like, okay, then why are you still playing WoW for the past 5 years? Why are you still playing it if they've ruined it? If League of Legends is so bad, why are you still playing it? It's that kind of attitude. I couldn't deal with it, and you guys know me. If I'm attacked, verbally or physically, I'm going after a motherfucker. Yeah. I'm the worst public relations person ever. I think we had a moment like that on the Facebook page, and I just emailed you guys or just
I was about to
messaged you
say,
guys and
if
said,
you guys ever hear from someone on the Facebook page, it's most likely me. 9 times out of 10, it will be Shane.
Yep. Yeah. 9 times out of 10 it'll be Shane, because if I see something and it just, makes my head tick or something, I will message Shane and say, go to the Facebook page and correct this, please. Yeah. Because I will not be nice.
Now, that being said, though,
I don't know if...
Side disclaimer, if you do want to comment on our stuff and you do have a critique or something you think we can improve on, we're all ears. However, if you just tell me that you're going to fuck my mom and I need to eat shit, that's where I draw the line.
That's when I will respond.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem, too, is, people... It's that whole power of, well, I paid for this and I get to do this. And it's you can say whatever you want. We've had this discussion. But you can't be an asshole because then no one wants to talk to you. Right. And if you want to be taken seriously, use words that aren't just every other word's a cuss word.
Yeah. I swear, but I think I swear eloquently.
I think there's a big difference between saying, "Oh, you fuckers fucking ruined this fucking game because fuckity fuck," versus,
yeah.
I think it's really messed up that you guys have created this game with this mechanic that does this thing, and I think it's unfun for these reasons. There's a very fine line, people.
It's shit. I forgot where I was gonna go. God damn it. Anyway, but yeah, it's the toxicity and all that is it's so
about Cuphead.
The fact that I just wanted the fact that developers are saying we were not going to talk to the public on how we make games because of how toxic it is, to me is messed up. That's where I'm coming from, and it's this is why mass media generally gets everything wrong with technology and video games and how they're portrayed in media. So that's kind of half the problem, because there's no dialogue with us and muggles, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, what do you want to know about Cuphead?
No, so about Cuphead, because I wanted to state something. Everyone gave was it Dean Takahashi? Yeah, they gave him a lot of flack, right? About the the whole, oh man, he's bad at video games. Not necessarily the case. However, someone did say something about him that I thought was really interesting, and I like the way they put it. They didn't like his video not because he couldn't get through the tutorial. They didn't like it because he put it out there when it was 10 minutes of not really any content. Which it was just they were it's just a bad judgment call. It's not about him as a person. It's more in his journalistic choices to put out a 10-minute video of him not doing something. It was just kind of a waste of time. And I thought that was interesting. But what's more interesting is the fact that now how many people have come out and they're wow, Cuphead's actually really tard.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cuphead now.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. You mentioned it, so fuck it. The tutorial is interesting. That's what people are complaining. Oh, he couldn't get through the tutorial.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the tutorial is a tutorial, and it does what it does well, and it does teach you stuff. Though I didn't pay attention to one thing, which made me die a lot in the first level, and boy, do you die a lot in all the levels. Oh my fucking god. I have beaten 3 of the bosses.
Okay.
The easiest boss or bosses, I think, because it's I forget what they're called. They're the farmer patch or something like that. You fight a potato, a pumpkin.
It's an onion.
Oh yeah, an onion. Yeah, sorry,
No worries.
onion pumpkin. I mean, it looked like it. An onion. That explains the crying.
Mm-hmm.
And a psychic carrot.
Yeah.
And I beat it. I think I maybe died 2 or 3 times, but I beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And beat the blue ball dude, the goo, whatever his name was, I forget. Beat him. That was pain. And who else did I beat? I forget. I'm trying to beat the blimp boss.
Okay.
I think it's a woman.
Yep.
I'm trying to beat her. That's difficult. I finally got to her final form, and I got iced. But it's a fun game. It's not broken in any way. It's just I'm not 10. And I don't have the skills for it anymore.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean, man. It's
but
hard.
It's very hard. I am definitely going to keep going at this game because I want to get at this game.
Mm-hmm.
Though my one tiny complaint with it is, bosses aside, bosses are very intricate. I love this game for any fault it has, design-wise, mechanically. The one fault it does not have is its look. And holy shit, is this game pretty just to look at.
Yep.
Like, everything about it is awesome, and everything about design, it's old school design because everything is super subtle.
Yep.
Like, there's certain things you can do to other enemies that you can't do to similar enemies. You can do this one thing to this red enemy, but you can't do it to its alternative green side. And the game doesn't tell you that. You just have to figure it out through trial and error, which is how Mario and Sonic did it, and Zelda.
Yeah,
It's old school, and it's old school game design. It's old school art. Mm-hmm. The art is amazing. I think. I love it. I love the whole thing about it. I'm not upset that I'm dying hundreds of times. It's still fun. I'm gonna probably play it when we get off.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's frustratingly fun.
Yep.
And I know when I hit my limit. I was like, okay, I need to shut the fucker off. I can't. And I should beat Wolfenstein. I still have like one level to go on that, and that's pissing me off. So I'm not playing that game anytime soon. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like, if you have an Xbox or access to one, or you can do the thing on the computer, what's it called? I forget.
Were you able to
play
whatever, Microsoft Access or whatever the shit.
Yes, something like that. Yeah. Try and get Cuphead because it's worth it. Get a controller.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Cool. I'm really liking this game. I do not regret my $20, even though I am just frustrated as fuck. And it's not like frustrated, I think, like Dark Souls frustrated. Maybe it is. I've never played Dark Souls.
I think it's the same feeling.
Maybe. I just want there to be more in-between levels. That's the thing I was getting at earlier. I just want there to be more in-between levels. I just want there to be side-scrolling levels, which the game calls run and guns.
Yeah.
Which are fun, but they're also a pain in the ass. So I had to climb the tree, and that was a pain. Oh my god, the tree level.
So Boogie2988 released a Francis video.
I like him. I don't like his character.
I don't like
Francis.
You're not supposed to like Francis. I can't stand Francis, but I watch the Francis videos because they're funny. I
don't even find them funny.
He said he did something really good though because he made a video about Cuphead, right? And everyone knows that if it's a Francis video, it's really he means the opposite. It's a facetious thing.
Yeah.
And so he did this thing, and it was like Francis was bitching about how hard the game is, right?
Right.
And he goes, "Don't make a kids game don't make it look like if it's a kids game if it's meant to be played by Satan." Was the quote? He's just like, it's so fucking hard and deal with Satan. Yeah, you gotta be the devil to beat this game. Was something he said, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because like I'm a big fan of platformers and jump and shoot. I think those are like most of my favorite games have those elements. Yeah. And I think it's cool. I haven't bought Cuphead yet because I need to save money. I'll probably wait till the holiday sale. I definitely plan on playing it.
Oh, right. It's on Steam. I'm a stupid idiot.
No worries, man.
Get it on Steam. Like, fuck me.
I mean, if you have an Xbox, get it on an Xbox. Why not? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could get it on my PS4, I'd probably do that instead.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but getting it on Steam is a cool option. I'm just like, okay, I want to play it. I see all these people playing it, and it's like, okay, I don't want to spoil the story, so I'm not going to watch too much. It's funny to me because, a lot of people are like, oh, this is so hard, or this or that, and I'm like, it is hard, but that's what I was talking to Will about this before. I'm like, really, just play Mega Man 2. Because if you want to play a hard jump and shoot game, I can name most of the Mega Mans that are like more challenging than the others. And I'm not saying Cuphead's bad for that. I mean, Cuphead has its own experience, right?
Yeah,
and that's the cool part about it.
Well,
and it's just
the one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The one thing Cuphead does not do. Sorry, the one thing Cuphead does not do that Mega Man does is you don't have lives in it. So you can die 20, 30 times in one level, but keep going back at the same level.
Oh yeah,
lives. That's the one thing it does. Yeah, lives are a huge part of Mega Man. I got one life. I can't do this level again.
I mean,
I have to go somewhere and grind.
What's really funny though is it's like I think back to like I watched some people play it and like, oh, this is so tough, right? Or oh, this or that, and I'm just like, well, it is tough, and I can understand why because one thing I've learned from playing a lot of Mega Man is that when people jump in a video game, especially in a platformer, arcs fuck people up mentally. That's the one thing I've noticed. Trying to jump vertically and then over, it never works properly. Trying to arc, it's all about timing, trying to make the wall jump connect or, just hit that right edge of the platform so you don't fall. Those things, honestly, the only reason I've ever enjoyed Mega Man games is because it's supposed to be repetitive. Platformers like that, it's supposed to be like that because then you get really good at it. And of course, if you don't practice, then you get really bad at it. I'm sure anyone who speedruns like any Mega Man game has probably like breezed through Cuphead because it's
maybe
I would put my money on it only because like it's just a control thing and knowing that type of mechanic. And I'm not saying anyone's inept for not knowing it because it's not inherent. It really isn't. It's like an eye training, I guess.
It's just all reactions, all muscle memory.
Yeah. And on top of it, too, I mean, I think it's funny people are like, oh, Cuphead is Dark Souls 4. I'm like, well, if you're going to call a fucking game Dark Souls 4, how about Bloodborne? Like a game that's actually in the the genre.
Game that's actually a Soulsborne? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to play a platformer, Dark Souls, get Salt and Sanctuary.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same
Which
experience.
Which is like Dark Souls 2.5 or Dark Souls 3.5 or something like that.
It's a Dark Souls-like. It has all the aspects of Dark Souls, but as a platformer.
Yeah.
And it even gives you the salt for free.
Yeah. But my last thing I'm going to say on it is, if anything, right? If you think Cuphead's too difficult for you, on the off chance, play a different platformer that you're really good at, or that you enjoyed playing it so you can practice. Like, probably play Shovel Knight. That's a platformer. Has similar elements.
Or play Spelunky. I mean, that has somewhat similar elements to it.
And the only reason I say that, though, is because I heard someone once tell me that the Mega Man Zero series for the Game Boy Advance, it is accepted belief amongst a lot of people that is probably one of the hardest Mega Man games ever made on the Game Boy Advance. And which I found is an odd statement, only because I literally played those games came rather quickly between each other. And so, I played 1 straight into 2, and then I kept on replaying 2 till 3 came out. And then I did from 3 to 4, because I just liked the game a lot, right? And there's a lot to do.
Right.
But the thing is, it's when you play nothing but those games got, 1 was really challenging, right? But going 1 into 2, 2 wasn't that hard. And then just playing through 2 so much, 3 was pretty easy, and then 4, I just blew through it. And if you can learn there are elements of platforming games, like techniques and stuff, that are kind of common in all of them. Not saying they're all the same, by the way, but roughly, there are elements you're going to see that overlap in a lot of platforming.
Yeah, it's the same thing with shooters. Like with most shooters on consoles, had the same button layout.
Yeah. So if you build up the skill for it, it's just you'll get through it. Eventually, someone's going to beat Cuphead once, right? They'll probably play through it again to see if they can beat their scores or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll probably just burn through it the second time.
Yeah, supposedly someone has beaten that game and has taken no damage.
I believe it.
Until I see video, I don't believe it.
Oh, I believe it.
I believe it. I believe there's a nut job out there. I mean, granted, I think that right now that's a cool feat. I have a feeling that once people figure out all the tricks and stuff, it's not as neat a trick. I mean,
maybe. I'm gonna wait until next year and that charity thing that you watch, Will.
The
speedruns.
Games Done Quick, yeah.
Games Done Quick. That is going to be a feature. That game is going to be.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I just did a quick search on YouTube of speedruns. We have an all bosses category, an all bosses regular speedrun, 100% speedrun. Those are coming up in like the 32s or so. Which is pretty crazy. Any percent, no major glitch speedrun. I did have one glitch. So I was fighting it happens. I was fighting the blimp boss, and what she does is she has a bunch of minions around her too. But what she does is at some point she'll suck in a bunch of air and then like let go and like run past you, and if you don't get out of the way, you can get hit. Yeah. But then as she runs past you, she'll leave a constellation. And then she'll run back and she'll become whatever that constellation was. And the first form is always a bull. The bull in clouds, like this made of clouds.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's easy to avoid. And then there's a second form that could be one of two forms. It can be like a Cupid looking dude.
Okay.
Which sucks. I hate that one. Because when he fires his arrow, you have to avoid his arrow. And you have to avoid these blue star things that will like key seeking. That's a pain in the ass. The other form is these two girls, and they have like a ball of fire in the middle of them, and then they'll launch that at you, which shoots like a minigun around in one circle, and then disappears.
Okay.
I was fighting them. That circle thing got me. I died, and then the game still kept playing.
All right.
I'm like. I was waiting there for 5 minutes, and they launched their special attack like twice. And I'm like, all right, I have to quit out and redo this. But yeah, simple fix: turn it off, turn it back on again. But yeah, that was like the one glitch I've run into with that game so far. I mean, I'm still in Inkwell Island 1.
That is a weird glitch.
Yeah, I mean, glitches are weird. They're inherently weird.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're annoying.
Everyone, I think, is familiar with the Assassin's Creed guard glitch, where they're humping the walls or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that to me is funny. It's not inherently wrong, but it's everyone knows about that one. Yep. Where was I going with it? Yeah, going back to our previous conversation about developers talking about their games and stuff like that, and they won't because of toxicity. This is a game. I want them to have like a video behind the scenes on how they made it. Because I want to know.
Sure, yeah.
I want to know the art style. I want to know the references. I want to know who they watched back in the 30s and 40s to get all the shit that they made for this game. I want to know the sound design, what they did for the sound, because it's fucking amazing, especially the barbershop quartet that kind of sings the opening of the game.
Yeah.
I want to see more.
It'd be a cool documentary.
And it'd be a very, very cool documentary. It's like, oh, please make it.
It's funny because people talk about it. Like, I've heard some people talk about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like those old Mickey Mouse cartoons. And I'm just like, Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's the one. And I'm like, yes. It's always that. I don't. It's funny though because like obviously people don't remember all the names for it. I like the art style. I love the concept, but I didn't realize like how adult the game was.
What do you mean?
Corey told me one of the jokes in the game is like his they were like, yeah, we might do this, we might do that, we might fuck your wife.
What?
Oh, I didn't.
Apparently that's like a joke of the game, and I'm like, you really? He goes, yeah, it is. I'm like, huh. I mean, it is Deal with the Devil, so I guess all cards are on the table.
Maybe. I have not run into that.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
I was like, but then again...
Maybe he's reading into something a bit too much?
I'm not entirely sure. I could ask him later for clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his current fucking Steam name is Did I Actually Fuck Your Wife? ? Which which most games just short to Did I Fuck? Which is really funny to me. But I asked him, like, what the fuck is that? He goes, it's a Cuphead joke. And I was like, how the fuck is that a Cuphead joke? I figured a Cuphead joke would be like, you know, Mick, are we Mickey Mouse or are we Looney Tunes? Who knows? Da-da. Like...
I would say they're more than Mickey Mouse range, but it's 1930s. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, granted, don't quote me on it, because also Corey could just be lying to me. I haven't played the game, but...
he's probably lying to you.
I don't know. He's not normally one to go that route. Usually he's more... He might be paraphrasing. Who knows? Then again...
I think he's paraphrasing, or he didn't get the joke. Because a lot of it is puns and rhymes and things like that. So I don't know where he misread something. I'm saying he's misread it. I'm not 100% sure if he misread it.
Well, he actually...
He's not wrong, is he?
Where'd you...
Yeah! That's, wow.
Well, never mind, Corey. If you listen to this one, congratulations, you win.
Yeah, so it's this dice dude who's chatting with the devil, and it says, bring your trades, bring your titles, bring your wife, we'll fuck her. That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Oh, wow.
I'm like,
oh my god. What? Yeah, no, because his picture is the dice dude. His picture is the fucking dice dude.
Yeah, wow. I was not ready for this.
Well, never mind.
I'm with you. I thought, totally, foolish.
I mean, I wasn't thinking it was like, I wasn't thinking that it was, okay, there we are.
What? Yeah.
That it was like kid friendly, but I don't know it like went that far.
I like this first comment. The dices are loaded, and so is your wife's snatch. God, that's so gross. Oh my Christ. The internet.
You gotta be kidding me. Well, congratulations, everyone. We hit the deep one this time around.
Oh boy.
We just ruined Cuphead for a lot of children.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
wow.
God. I was not ready.
Wow, we hit that one pretty hard too. Corey wasn't lying. His picture is literally the one where he's got this finger on his chin.
No, he wasn't lying.
And it's just, did I actually fuck your wife's name? And I was like,
wow.
This is amazing.
Wow, I was not ready for this game to do that. Wow. Okie dokie.
Yeah, well, I got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what, Nick? It's probably better you found out this way instead of actually in the game, because then you would have been by yourself, wide-eyed, going, did that actually happen?
Yeah.
Did I misread that? Am I too tired? Should I stop playing?
I would have loved to play this co-op, because someone plays it Mughead, someone plays this Cuphead, but I think the game might up it. I'm not 100% sure. But every character refers to... They talk to you like, oh, you boys doing... What are you boys doing? There's like... They never individualize. It's always you boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because both of them are involved. But Cuphead's the title character. He's Mario, essentially.
Except Mughead looks like he's not a knockoff Mario. It's just
Mughead is definitely... There's distinctions between them better than Luigi.
Yeah.
And Luigi is... I think he's not a loser like Luigi. And I say that Luigi's a loser because I've been watching a lot of Game Grumps, and every time they do Luigi's voice, they make him sound like the most pathetic character ever.
Oh, people do that all the time.
He's trying to be interesting while Mario's on this epic quest, and all Luigi's doing is talking about like the sandwich he made.
I mean, to be real though, Luigi's probably a better person than Mario. In a lot of the games that I have seen.
How so?
Luigi is usually the person to ask, is the person okay? Mario is usually the person to ask, what's up? Which is just like, I mean, I'm not entirely sure if it really matters, I've never really cared. I really just hate
standard.
Waluigi.
Yeah, Waluigi is
It's fucking dumb.
By that standard, it's just like, okay, Mario's about action and Luigi's empathetic.
Pretty
That's
much
all it is. But yeah.
Man,
yeah,
we didn't even derail ourselves, but Cuphead just fucking flatlined us for a minute.
With that shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, boy. There we go.
Normally I edit out the typing, but I'm going to leave Will's incessant typing about that because I want people to hear that coming. I want people to hear that.
I just wasn't at all prepared.
Yeah.
And it's not like these characters have like they don't say it. Like the characters just kind of have a noise associated with them.
Yeah, they do like the old Disney thing where they just words and noises.
So it's not even like, dude, that guy just said, well, fuck my wife. Like, you can't even yell at the person. It's someone wad me, and there was words on the screen.
You know what the worst part is, though? Kids are probably going to play this game, right?
Oh no, yeah.
Kids are probably going to play this game, and any kid who doesn't have a 5th grade reading level is not going to know what the fuck's going on, and then every other child is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I said this before. Every kid, I don't know about girls, but every kid, a boy growing up, had that friend that had access to something. As for me, it was a friend of mine had access to where his dad kept his magazines, his dirty magazines.
Yeah.
And if you weren't that friend, if you didn't have that friend, you might have been that friend, or you were sheltered as fuck.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Alright. What else do we have for topics? I just want to move on.
I'm not going to let this move on. I just want to ask you guys one quick question and we'll move on to what's going on with DC and Warner Brothers and how they're fucking things up. Have you ever guys ran across wood porn?
What?
Wood porn.
Like
is that like lumberjacks carving up trees?
Yeah.
No, asshole. It means finding it in the woods.
Oh no. Dumpster.
Oh, you never done it?
Dumpster, yes. Woods, no.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean. Have you ever found it?
Oh, in the wild? Yes.
You just, yeah, in the wild. Yeah, okay.
I've never found it, but I've had cousins who have.
Right, again.
Yeah.
There's always someone that does.
Yeah, no, there's one person,
Wow, this game has an E rating? What the shit?
Someone did not review it thoroughly.
What?
That's right. Well, fuck your life.
What?
For everyone.
I'm missing. Alright, where are the spy cameras? I'm missing the joke here. The hell?
This is the best. This is the best episode yet. You want to know what I'm titling it? It's E for everyone.
Yeah.
No, E.
Rated E for everyone.
No, E, even for your wife.
Oh my god, wow. Okay. Alright then.
God damn. I really want to talk about Rick and Morty, but I'll give my we're gonna go ham on this. So apparently it's been announced, or it's been in the ether, that WB and DC, we're changing topics.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. They're giving up on the DCEU.
Wow.
They are still gonna have movies that are kinda in a chronological order and are somewhat connected to each other. And I think they're going to continue that into Aquaman, maybe.
Okay.
But the reason why they're doing this is bad reviews for most of their games, for most of their movies that have come out, like Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, and especially Suicide Squad. And also, apparently, the success of Wonder Woman has also done this. Has done it in. Because Wonder Woman didn't have anything that pushed things forward with Justice League and this ensemble that they want to create. It just told the story of an awesome character in an awesome way.
Yeah.
Then honestly, they should just double down and keep pushing about how awesome Wonder Woman is, because...
Right. Well, the other thing is they're not going to continue with the the canon, the chronologically, they're not gonna make an extended universe like Marvel. They're kind of giving up on it, which kind of sort of makes sense. Which is why there's gonna be there's been rumors that there's supposedly gonna be like a couple of different Batman movies, and there's also gonna be maybe 1 or 2 Joker movies as well. I personally, I don't care who's in it. I really don't want to see a Joker movie because I don't want to know where that character came from.
He's one character that doesn't need an origin story. It's fine without it.
The problem is the Joker movie probably won't even be an origin movie, hopefully, because
that's what they want. That's what they want because that's what they think the public wants.
Honestly, I think even a Joker movie where he doesn't, it's just him messing stuff up is also kind of boring, just because it's watching the villain all the time is kind of boring, only because eventually you just go, well, where's Batman to stop him?
Right. If there's one comic I suggest you guys try and find and read, it's called The Joker. And you could say it's this proper sequel to The Dark Knight. Because how they draw the Joker in that comic is he very much looks like Heath Ledger. But it is a fucked up comic, considering everything the Joker does. And the cool thing about it is Batman is more of this entity, more of this thing. And he only has one line in it. In the entire Batman. He only has one line in the whole comic book. And it's a pretty thick comic. It's a graphic novel. But yeah, I suggest you guys read that. And that's just him, I think he gets out of Arkham for some lore bullshit, some legalese. He gets out of Arkham legally. And the whole comic book is narrated by, a low-level thug who just wants to, have power, and he thinks with the Joker he can have power, but he's basically making a deal with chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And he regrets it. So, maybe a movie like that, because that's almost a bit kind of akin to The Departed, because you follow this one character who's hanging around with this notorious, dangerous mafia, or not mafia, this notorious gangster. That character was not mafia. Mafia is Italian, he was Irish. But, yeah.
It's wild to think that they gave up on it so quickly.
Not to me. They've been planning shit forever. They want to compete with Marvel, but they just went about it the totally wrong way.
Well, I mean, it's weird to call it quits. And only because they lose so much from doing that, right? They honestly,
well, yeah.
They honestly could have just. I don't know. They could have just kept going. They should have just stopped. We've been saying it forever. They just stopped trying to be Marvel.
Yeah.
They could have done things so differently. They could have had crossover movies without ever being oh, well, it's Batman versus Superman, right? They could have just had a Batman movie where Superman just shows up for no reason, to help out, or they could do things where it's oh, look, it's a Flash movie, but hey, oh, holy shit, it's not just the Flash. Green Lantern showed up,
right?
Because that's kind of where DC shines with their stories, is that they're here. The whole point of the Justice League, what made it so good was all those superheroes kind of agreed to team up together, and they actively do help each other, right?
Right.
If you look at Marvel, to be real, Marvel has team-ups and shit, but, outside the Avengers, which is a constantly shifting team, those superheroes don't really interact with each other. They don't opt
yeah,
to.
Spider-Man's the only other one who interacts with a bunch of the other superheroes.
Yeah, but for instance, Freddy, there was a point where fucking Tony Stark joined the X-Men, and that was only to help curve, a mutant war. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Outside of that, he knows mutants exist, he knows the X-Men are there, but he doesn't help them regularly.
Yeah.
And looking at it another way, the Fantastic Four, their base camp is New York or whatever. How many times do they actually team up with the Avengers or lend a hand?
Well, yeah, I mean, New York is a base for a lot of superheroes, and I think a friend Gel, actually, you guys remember, I think he was actually presenting it in a class where chronologically like these alien invasions happened at the same time, but it was different teams taking on these different attacks on New York. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like the Avengers were dealing with this, Fantastic Four was dealing with this, X-Men was dealing with this. And it's all happening within, like, New York and, like, New England and the East Coast in general is just getting killed, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid that they do it that way. But for them to call it quits for DC and WB to call it quits on the DCEU, I don't think it's good or bad.
Well, I mean, it's hard because they're not killing any momentum. They're just not building up anything either.
Well, they're not going to not make movies. They're just not going to have an extended universe.
I think I'm fine with that more than anything.
Yeah.
Just considering how things have gone with it, as in not being very successful. Financially, it's probably a smart decision.
Right. Like, here's the thing. I may or may not at some point see Justice League. Don't know if I'll go to the theaters to do it. I'm not sure at this point.
I know I won't. Like, I won't step in the theater for that.
I saw Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman on HBO.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't spend $10.
Yep.
Now, the problems with both those films, and this is the really, really shitty part, is just, like, I think the meddling, you see it, you blatantly see it, the meddling of executives. The problem with Batman v Superman is there's too much going on, and Batman vs. Superman, the lead up to their fight, doesn't make any sense. How they ally up really doesn't make any sense. Your mom's name is Martha? Mine is too. Let's be friends. Like, fucking really? There's a ton of problems that they had throughout that movie. The problem with the Suicide Squad is the script was written in 6 fucking weeks. You know? It just doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the sad part about both those films. Ben Affleck and Harvey Keitel are great at being Batman and Superman. They fit, I think. It was just Batman did again, rule in DC movies. Rule in DC throughout. The only character that is allowed to brood is Batman. That is pretty much his mojo, is brooding. Yeah. Superman has to be a Boy Scout. It doesn't mean he has to be, I'm Superman, I'm great, you know. He can have questioned his existence. I'm fine with that. But my problem with Man of Steel was he was just too angsty. There's too much angst. It's like he can't be angsty. He had, like, in all the Superman origin stories, he basically kind of agrees with his dad and saying, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't go out into the world and do this. Something else, he has a great relationship with his Earth dad. He has, a great relationship with his Earth mom. And that's what drives Superman, is he's got this awesome upbringing, and then he sees the tragedy in the world and he becomes Superman. Batman's the complete opposite. And they didn't have that. But they're perfect. Those guys, those actors are good for it. And the problem with Suicide Squad, it was just muddled. It's chaotic. It doesn't know what it wants to be. But it has awesome actors. Will Smith as Deadshot was fantastic. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she fucking owned it. Everyone there owned it. But it was just a shit story. And that was the problem. It was a shit story and really bad editing, in the case of Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what the problem, if any, will be with Justice League. And, yeah. God only knows. I'm rambling. But yeah, it's
okay. Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
I mean, we have this conversation once every so often. I mean...
Well, yeah. Something comes out of the woodwork with DC, and yeah, we gotta talk about it because... Oh man, they think that to get out of the hole, they have to dig up. And this is them digging up. really. It's like, oh, we're not gonna have an extended universe, but we have all the rights to these properties, so we're just gonna make random movies. Okay. I don't know what contracts they have with anyone. Also, there's supposedly going to be like 3 or 4 movies set in the Batman verse next year. So I don't know what happens with them.
I mean, it's probably going to all end up being pretty mediocre.
Yeah, it will. If they're even made, it'll be pretty mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with them ending it. I will have a problem with them basically making shovelware movies. You know, just like another Batman movie, a Joker movie, another Joker movie. We don't need one Joker movie. We don't, let alone 2. Yeah, that happened, and again, they're blaming this on bad reviews for the movies they wanted to do good, and the success of one movie they didn't think anything of. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I think when I think of the Warner Brothers executives? I basically think of a bunch of fat white guys with those those Willard Brimley mustaches, and they just don't know jack shit of what's going on down below. They just think they have superheroes. Oh, that'll just make money, and lo and behold, they're not making money. They don't know why. Because he fucking didn't do it right.
I mean, it's potentially that's the problem. Like, I think this is honestly just something we're going to keep beating our heads against until something gives, whether it be our patience or their ability to actually produce something. That's just what it comes down to.
They did Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was great.
But that's the thing is, it's like they produced one thing, and they don't even see the value in it, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that movie was great. It was excellent. There's going to be a Wonder Woman 2 apparently. Hopefully, it's the same director, so it's still good. Like, there's no reason why it can't be successful, and there's no reason why they can't build on that. Mm-hmm. But if they want to just cut their losses or cut any losses they may have, that's power. Power to them, because that's it's one of their company. But I think Warner Brothers really needs to take a hard look at the corkboard that they're throwing darts at, and really need to decide how they want to proceed. Because at the moment, they're just throwing randomly, hoping for a flashy idea, and we're kind of past that.
They already have Justice. Yeah, if you can rewind the clock, I mean, I've said it before. How they should have a Justice League movie was just all of them in the Watchtower. And then they have a flashback of this huge battle that they have with Darkseid or Brainiac or any one of the big villains that they all have to fight. And then that's the Justice League movie. And then we go basically do the reverse of what Marvel did. Go from Avengers and then do all the subsequent lead-up movies. That's what they should have done with Justice League. Have the big Justice League movie, then go Batman movie, Super movie, Flash movie, Wonder Woman movie, then it would have worked. But no, they didn't. Will, actually, I just remember this. Will, didn't you read this article? It was a Warner Brothers exec.
Oh yeah, we talked about that forever and a day ago. Yeah, just kind of all the things that have gone wrong.
Yeah, we need to find that again and post it, because it pretty much just sums up exactly what's wrong and again what happened. Because I think he wrote it after Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Yeah. So he knew what he was talking about, I think. Mm. So yeah, it's a big fucking problem. Just why?
It is what it is, man. It is. We'll see where things go from here. It's kind of the cut and dry of it. Yeah, that's all that can be done.
Yeah, at some point I'm going to have to make a rule about the podcast in DC. If I see an article, it's just like, no, we're not going to do it because I don't want to have the stress and the dry mouth of talking about it constantly and saying the same fucking shit I've said 500 times, and we've only had 80 episodes.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to talk about. You guys said you saw Rick and Morty finale.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I just got into the game like a week ago. Loved it, and season 3 was great.
Yeah.
Except the finale.
Okay.
I didn't really. It was lackluster compared to season 1 and season 2.
Sure.
It was lackluster to me. I mean, it was funny. It was great, but especially when he's dicking with the president and literally physically fighting him.
Yeah.
It was
A lot of people think was it Tales from the Citadel should have been the season finale, which I can see that because it's definitely a more impactful episode for future things to come.
Yeah.
But it would have been weird to wrap up the kind of Beth and Jerry situation that early into the season, because that's really the purpose, the real purpose that I felt of the season finale for season 3 is actually not what's happening with Rick and Morty and the president. It's actually the what's happening with Beth and Jerry and their family.
Yeah,
like that really is like the president thing is kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess this exists. Yeah, this is funny. Yeah, wow, all right. They're just kind of two assholes. But really, it's the kind of closure to what's happening and kind of like doing in a sense a reset. Resetting it. They make a joke at it. It'll be like Beth makes a very on the nose pun of like it'll be like season 1. And it's like, okay, so you're trying to like, in a sense, reset elements of the show, which I get.
But I don't think there's a call for that. I don't think there is a call for them to reset the show like that.
Well, it's not. Listen, we don't know what they have planned from here on. Like it,
yeah.
They this may be something that they need the pieces to be there. And Jerry and Beth not together, and their family not together with Rick, kind of the outside entity. You wouldn't have they couldn't tell the stories that they want to tell in the next couple of seasons. Also, we got to see Morty with balls. Like he undermines Rick,
right?
Like just fucking undermines him completely, which is. We're starting to see, this Morty fight back against Rick, and we've seen it throughout the season. This is kind of like that extra step that we get to see Rick not, in a sense, not in control, not the dominant person in his family anymore. He's become the Jerry in some capacities.
So I watched the whole thing about. But it was a news thing. So apparently, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, the co-creators of the show, one hinted that season 3 was going to be a 14-episode run.
Yeah.
But then they were talked. That was said no to them.
Interesting.
So they were talked down to 10, which is why episode 10, this one, feels very much like just another episode.
Sure.
Also, I don't think that's really Beth. I think that is a clone, and Rick is just trying to save face for whatever reason.
Okay. Well, so I guess my question is, what makes you say that?
Why she's a clone? Because it's too neat.
Okay.
This show is not, like, nothing ends neat. Like, Rick has kind of mentioned how wild and crazy the universe is, and this just, to me, feels a bit too wrapped up and neat. That's what I'm getting at.
It feels weird, right?
It feels very weird, yes.
So then it can hint that it is the real Beth. because it feels odd. It feels too perfect.
Yeah, well, there's also this fact that like this is fans like grasping at straws, but it was something that Mr. Poopy Butthole said at the end, where he said, "The next time you see me, I might have a long white Santa Claus beard."
Yeah.
And so people think, "Oh, are we going to get episodes on Christmas?"
I mean, it's definitely possible.
I could definitely
it could
see
be possible.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like this finale. It just felt it. I didn't like the wrapping up, them not getting a divorce.
So my take
it was just too much. Meh.
So my take on it is like it definitely was a weird episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I liked one element of it that I thought was important.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So Rick constantly goes off on a bender about how Jerry is manipulative, how he, like the episode with him and Jerry, their little adventure.
Yeah.
He tells
he has the best line about Jerry.
He tells Jerry that he's a fucking pity leech that like grabs onto people who feel bad for him, and then he sucks all of their empathy out of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And whether or not that's really true, or that's just Rick superimposing the fact that he thinks his daughter's like not worth, is so much better than Jerry, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's too many ways you could argue that. But what was interesting is like Jerry didn't do anything that was like, he wasn't trying to be a leech in this episode. He was literally just being a genuine guy who went over his first date with his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they were teenagers.
Yeah.
He literally, and it was weird because like that was the standout moment, was Jerry didn't complain. He didn't try to take advantage of the situation. He didn't lie. He literally just put his cards on the table and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Which I think I kind of agree with Will. I think it created a power shift, because Jerry seized control of kind of like the situation by being honest, which is the one thing Rick kind of struggles to do. Because Rick doesn't really, everything doesn't really matter. The truth is a lie. The lie is a truth. The universe is a crazy bitch. Whatever. Right? That's Rick's whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with Nick that it might not be the real Beth, but I think it's more because that's the random element that may bring season 4 around at some point. It might be like if I could see them easily be like, oh well, we're lulled into a sense that that's Beth, right? Then some crazy shit happens, and then Beth, who's been traveling the universe, who's more like Rick, comes back and saves everyone.
Yeah.
That's like that's in the realm of possibility because this show breaks so many things. I think it is a little too neat, but at the same time, it's it kind of completely it floored the first episode of the season. Rick's whole tirade about like, I am the dad of this, I am the alpha of this household, I am the man in charge, but it's weird because Rick doesn't have to take that lying down. He's already demonstrated that he can change the table at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Rick also has an ulterior motive simply because, like, he showed up with a gun to shoot Jerry.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping him from shooting Jerry. He could have killed Jerry at some point and replaced him with a clone that obeys him. That wouldn't... Like, that'd
be a twist.
Yeah, right? But there's no point in Rick, like, forfeiting at any point, because Rick realizes forfeiting, you don't have to if you're the better person. Like, that's his whole... That's another part of his personality, right? I think Rick doing what he did, where he was just like, yeah, I'm Rick, I'm Fishing Rick, I'm from a different universe, right? I hope we can get along, and I hope all bygones be bygones between me and the previous Rick, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, doing that took more effort in probably Rick's mind than it does to just kill Jerry and replace him. So it's either, there's so many things that could be happening, but I actually believe that Rick probably has plans for Jerry.
Probably.
Because Rick is the only person that can make Rick feel like a loser. Like, he is his own worst enemy, and it's obviously Jerry has no power over him and or ability to stop him. So I find it really hard to swallow that Rick is just willing to go with the family and agree with Jerry. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily the best season finale, considering season 2 was just like a fucking... Like, it was really good. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't feel like it was bad, because ultimately this show is really good at throwing fucking out of left field pitches, and I'm just gonna sit back and wait for it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't amount to anything, I will be disappointed then.
That I think is the big question. Will anything come of it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I just got into this, so at the same time, like, there's these big hooks that I just feel are kind of like left unanswered. One is the Beth's thing, which I think that's left unanswered. Clone or real, I don't know. I mean, hell, the clone could have gone off, whatever. And the other thing is, like, evil Morty.
Well,
you know,
we're gonna get that like season by season, like, realistically.
Yeah, but it's interesting that he exists, that everything that's happening in the Citadel is happening, and Rick is oblivious to it, which to me will probably be a huge kick in the balls for him. That he's oblivious to everything that's happened in the Citadel and what has transpired with this particular Morty. Of course, everyone thinks that Rick is just a grown-up version of Morty, so
that would be really messed up.
I mean, that's a fan theory.
And it is fan theory. I don't want that to be true, because it just... Then you're, like, doing some... You have to do some loop thinking, and it's just like, no, I don't want to.
I mean, it definitely takes the wind out of that one joke where it's like, yes, tall Morty, and it's just a Rick. It's just a stupid Rick.
Yeah, same. So, who knows? Like, I love the show, and this season was awesome, but the season finale didn't live up to that. So, if this was the season finale, I'd like to think that Roland and Hammond have more pull now, that they're making probably one of the more successful shows that Adult Swim has.
I'm definitely in the opposite spectrum. I enjoyed the season finale for, like, the little things that it definitely is not the strongest, but I feel like, you know, now knowing that they were shut down to only 10 episodes and a 14 episode, when they had 14 episodes planned out, I think they did. Yeah. I think they wrapped up a thing that they wanted to wrap up. That's the season. You know, with that they had to kind of do set up for another season where those kind of last 4 episodes shift into it.
Maybe. I don't know. It wasn't a bad episode. It's just, I just felt like, okay, you know, I was kind of like, what? Because especially after an episode like ABC's of Beth, you know, it's just, it's hard to compete with.
I watched the season finales a few times, and at first I was like, this episode's funny. Oh, right, it's a season finale? Oh, that's weird. And then I watched it a few more times, and it grew on me. You know, like, I just kind of, because it was live on YouTube, and it was looping, and I just kind of sat there and watched it a few times, like, okay, alright, I have a better feel on this episode. I feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, there's questions I have that aren't answered. That's my whole thing.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I'm actually more happy with that than anything, because it basically leaves me wanting.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I just found out that they're still making Venture Brothers
I
episodes.
saw that, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, okay.
Talk about one of my favorite shows.
I haven't, man. I don't know I think I need to go back and rewatch a bunch of shit, because I have not seen that show in fucking forever.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
I think the last time I watched it, Sergeant Hatred was now the bodyguard. Brock was somewhere else. Hank had long hair.
Yeah, those are all things that happen.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I'm lost. Something happened, and I don't know what. So I just shut it off. I need to find out where to watch all that shit. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Rick and Morty. Still love the show. It's just I'm, you know, kind of with the episode, the finale, because to me it wasn't really a finale in the vein of the finales that they'd had. Mm-hmm.
I feel like
yeah,
it's pretty late though.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yes, it is. All right. I guess we should wrap up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
thank you for listening. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on iTunes. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on our website, definitely leave us a comment. And if for Facebook, give us a share or two.
Yeah.
Also, please share the page. We are at 99 likes. That's insane. If we could get one more, I'd be excited.
Yeah, same. I would like a nice even 100 or more than that even.
One more time, if you are a Magic follower, please check us out on Monday for the episodes of the Scroll Rack. Also, I am going to be experimenting this week with the website. I think I may have found a way to get Scroll Rack on iTunes. There might be a small shift in how we format it.
Nice.
All right. And with that, we're out. Later.
Deuces.
Later days.